Hey y'all, it's your favorite realtor, Kasha here, and I'm going to tell you how to win in a seller's market. Let's go. So, it's a seller's market right now. I'm filming this video in January of 2021, okay? Further you watch this video outside of January of 2021, you're going to want to take the information more generally than as if it was current market information. The real estate market is just that. It's a market, right? So the prices and values are kind of always fluctuating in the same way that you would liken in a financial sense, the stock market, for example. You know what I'm saying? The stock market operates in the same way, the same principles apply, but a stock today might be a completely different price in a year, and the advice given about such stock might be outdated within days or weeks. So do you get what I'm saying? So again, this is being filmed in January of 2021. So the further you move from that, the more you're going to want to look for more specific information about the things I say in this video that are specific in the current market that you are in, okay? And it changes fast. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so it is a seller's market. And let's assume for the sake of this video, whenever you're watching this, it is also a seller's market. Okay, so for the purposes of clarity and my well-being, I'm going to speak directly to the sellers in a seller's market and directly to the buyers in a seller's market separately. We are talking to the sellers, okay? Y'all come on right in, have a seat, because it's a seller's market, so y'all go first, okay? If you are a seller in a seller's market, what that means is basically out of the exchange, out of the seller and the buyer exchange, you are the party that essentially has more power, okay? Which is really great news for you. But I want to caution you, if you do not have a good realtor, I cannot emphasize this enough. If you do not have a good realtor, you can still be in a seller's market and not get top value for your property. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back, okay? If you don't have a phenomenal, top tier, 5-star realtor, you can still end up at the short end of the deal in a seller's market with you being the seller, okay? It is very important that you start off any transaction with a qualified and well-trained, well-behaved, well-scented realtor. Look no further. You're looking right at who you should be hiring for this, okay? My information is in the description box below. Reach out to me. Instagram, your favorite realtor, Kasha, also there, it's on the screen. I would love to help you. And if you want more information about that, I actually did a video about how to choose a realtor. It was great, very informative, and I would direct you to go to that video as soon as you are done with this one, because that is the first step. Before your house ever goes onto the market, you have to pick and vet your realtor, and I give you all of the tools that you need to be able to do just that. Let's continue with in mind that it is a seller's market and we have an amazing realtor, okay? If you are the seller, you have a great realtor, okay? Your house is priced wonderfully. Now, here's what you don't want to do. Just because it is a seller's market does not give you license to overprice your house. There is never an appropriate time to overprice a home or to undercut a home. It is best to price homes according to the market value. Okay, and what that essentially means is what people are willing to pay at the time you want to sell. That's all it means, okay? Within that, there's a lot of math, there's a lot of strategy, there's a lot of technique, there's a lot of nuance to come to that number. but that number needs to be too high nor too low. I say this all the time. Your property needs to be priced perfectly. If you want it to move the way that, you want it to move, you got to price it to move. So that really goes back to picking a great realtor. A great realtor is going to be able to use the current market climate to put everything together to price your home. And they're gonna be, if they know what they're doing, they're gonna be confident. They are gonna have a strategy on selling your home. So if a realtor just says like, hey, what would you like to list it as? Boom, let's get it up on the MLS. That's not the realtor you want, okay? If you say a price to a realtor and the realtor readily accepts without any further work, don't be so turned on by the fact that they were into the price that you were into, and you thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get top dollar for my, I bought it for this much and we just put this much in. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. There's so much that goes into being a good realtor, which again, I talk about so much in my video, that it really has, a lot goes into it. So you just want to be sure that you are not trying to take advantage of being in a seller's market and get more money than you honestly have value for. If your home is overpriced in a seller's market, this is what's going to happen. When realtors are pulling lists for their clients, when people who are looking for homes are looking on the internet, and your home, if your home is on the MLS, it will also be on all of the realtor.com, Zillow, all of the realtor sites, most of them. It will automatically go there, okay? So that means realtors will have access to your home on the database to show their clients, but it will also be just on the internet for anyone to see, okay? So if you price your home too high, people who are looking for a home that is actually valued at what you mistakenly priced your home for, those people are gonna see your home, and the people who have a budget that's lower where your house should be, they're not gonna see your home, okay? So what you are literally doing when you overprice your home in a seller's market is you essentially take your home out of the eyesight of the actual demographic of people who want to buy your home. A person who could get a way newer, nicer, bigger, etc., whatever positive adjective you want to put in there. When they're looking at a price point that your home is in when it shouldn't be, they are going to quickly and easily discount your home. They're gonna look at a couple of pictures and be like, oh, yuck. And they're gonna move on to the next. No one's gonna call you. Do you get what I'm saying? I know it makes logical sense that in a seller's market, I should take advantage of it being a seller's market and hike up the price. That is a fallacy, okay? It is literally a flawed premise of thinking, literally just based upon how database information is pulled and the way the internet searches work. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a very simple problem to fall into and an almost unyielding situation once you are in it. When you have priced your home above market value in a seller's market, all you're doing is sending the competition, which, okay, so it's a seller's market, right? So what that means is there's, 10 homes for sale, but there's 100 people who need to buy a home. Okay, so that's what a seller's market means. That means there's more people who are interested in buying the homes that are available than there are homes that are available. So the people who are selling have the advantage of making kind of the final say. So if you're in a situation in which people are kind of frenzied, urgent about looking for homes, all you're doing is taking your homes out of the eyesight of the people who are desperate to buy your home. without giving too much away, you literally want to price your home within a range of bidding, essentially, is what you want to do. So it's not that you're pricing your home. I'm not advising you to underprice your home, because the kind of the same thing will happen as far as who's looking at it based on just the dollar amount. But if you put it so low that it is immediately enticing for that price point, you can kind of generate an automatic multiple offer situation, which in turn has multiple people at the same time essentially bidding on one property. And that, my friends, is what you want. If you are in a seller's market and you sell your home and you do not have multiple offers, let's say if you have your home on the MLS for longer than 3 days before you sell it, before you accept an offer, and you did not have a multiple offer situation, that is a sure telltale sign you did not price your home accordingly. Because in a seller's market, you should almost always have a multiple offers. People should be like kind of low-key fighting over your home. That's what you want, because then you can literally get the best dollar price, or whatever particular whatever aspects of the close that you want. Whether, most people are motivated by price, but let's say, it's we're still kind of in the pandemic. Let's say you're moving to California and, they've just issued another stay-at-home order, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe you might say, you know what, I want to sell my home. I know I'm going to get the price that I want. It's priced great. I trust my realtor, but I need a 4-month close. I want to move. I want to take my time. There's a stay-at-home order there. So logistically, whatever the case may be. So that might be the thing that you're looking for, a buyer who's willing to let you have a 4-month period where you're still living in the home. You could do a buyback situation. There's several options, but the gist of what I'm saying is, in a seller's market, it should be priced accordingly so that you have multiple offers going for the home before it is sold from the market. If you are the seller, another consideration of yours could be, let's say you have 2 offers on your home for the exact same dollar amount. They were both submitted at the same, so how do you choose? Of course, your realtor is going to try and get them to bid on it and get the price up, run it up, if they're a good realtor. But even beyond that, if your motivations are not financial, this is when you could really kind of do a good thing for someone. And I will leave it there, because it gets a little hairy logistically, but I feel like y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I will leave it there. I won't say more. But in a seller's market, if you're the seller, you could really try to accept the offer that feels right for you and your family. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I feel like it got real weird, but I hope you get what I'm saying, because I can't say it legally, but I hope you feel me, okay? Things to look out for. So if you're a seller in a seller's market, something you might want to just keep your eye open for is actually something I'm going to talk about on the other side, but you might start receiving letters with the offers that you receive. Okay, so they will send you an offer with an offer letter. This is actually something that I advise my buyers to do if they're like, Keisha, this has to be the home for me. I tell them, write the most sentimental, truthful, honest offer letter that you can. I mean, pour your heart and soul out to this seller. Make them emotionally want to sell you their home. I advise that as a realtor. Now, I am a realtor with scruples, okay? If someone is wanting to make a purchase with malicious intent. And I, as a realtor, know that. I, of course, have a fiduciary responsibility for my client, whether, I like them as a person or not. Luckily, I don't accept clients that I feel are unscrupulous, if that makes sense. So, all my clients are amazing. Like, they're great. I have a favorite, but all my clients are amazing. So that's not a concern for me. However, so from the seller's perspective, just have your eyes open for maybe someone trying to manipulate you through a letter. Okay, again, I can't really, dig deep on that, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. But just be aware that that is something that people might do just to, pull on your heartstrings to get you to sell your home, and maybe not really be honest or truthful about what it is they're saying. So, in these cases, it's really more just like a vibe thing, a feel thing, because it's not like you can, prove what they're saying in the letter for the most part. But just be cognizant of that as a seller in a seller's market. So in a seller's market, if you are a seller, this is an opportunity for you to, I like to call it, take back the ownership of your home before it's sold. If you have ever had your home on the market, especially if you had a home on the market before the pandemic, people are coming over for showings literally all the time, it seems, interrupting dinner. It's like people are trying to find the most inconvenient times to view your home. And, people often allow people to view their homes whenever. Now, that has changed a little bit since the pandemic. However, in a seller's market, that is the perfect time for you to have your realtor stack your house showings. And in my opinion, it kind of creates the frenzied shortage, anxiety inducing situation that makes people feel like, oh my goodness, we got to put an offer in this house. And as a seller, that's what you want. Again, you want a multiple offer situation every time. That's the ideal. If you are the seller in a seller's market, my recommendation, if you were my client, 2 showing days a week, period. Okay? And they could be whatever days you want. 2 days, that's it. So all the other 5 days, you don't have to worry about the house being tidy. You don't have to wear pants. You feel me? These are trying times. So in a seller's market, 2 showing days, that's it. Because people are still going to want to see your home. If they're interested in your home online, and I talk about this in my video tips on how to sell your home during COVID, which you should absolutely check out. But people are going to have already seen your virtual tour at this point. So they will wait. If it's Thursday and they can't go till Sunday, they'll be there Sunday. Oh, they'll be there Sunday. Okay, so don't even worry about it. Show the home when you want to show it, because again, it's a seller's market. These are the kinds of things that I feel like you can get away with without putting yourself at a disadvantage in the way that overpricing your home would be, as I mentioned earlier. Making a scarcer amount of time that your home is available, in my opinion, generates more of a buzz. So it's even more helpful to do this, if you ask me. If I was your realtor, I would recommend in a seller's market, 2 days showing. That's it. Unless there's a time sensitivity. If you need to get the house sold, this week, that's a different story. But if there's no urgency on when you need to sell, you're just trying to sell your home as soon as it will sell within reason, take your time with the showing. Show a couple of times, do a really solid virtual tour, show a couple days a week, and that's it. Okay, and you're golden. Now let's talk about how to win in a seller's market if you are a buyer. Okay. So I've already touched on this a little bit on my perspective of the seller in a seller's market. If you are a buyer in a seller's market, if you want the house, if you really, really want it, you need to submit an offer letter every time. And if you're submitting multiple offers, there's a strategy to that. So hopefully your realtor is making that not, you kind of committing to buying multiple houses, because you could get two at the same time, an accepted offer on two at the same time. So there's contingencies you need to put into the contract, but your realtor, if they're solid, will take care of that. If you are a buyer in a seller's market, you want to submit an offer letter with every offer that you submit, and you want to pour out your heart and soul, okay? You want to proofread it multiple times. You want to have someone outside of you or your spouse or your significant other reading it. You want to literally have fresh eyes looking at it. It needs to be perfect. It needs to express the proper tone. But this literally could be the deciding factor for you. Like I said in the other half of the video, if the house that you put an offer in that you love, someone else puts in the exact same dollar amount offer, but only you have an offer letter, which one do you think the seller is going to choose? The seller is going to take the one with the offer letter, unless the offer letter is unsavory. So like I said, make sure it's proofread, make sure it's, expressing the proper tone. But yeah, it is very helpful to set you apart from at least the same monetary offer or similar monetary offers. That'll really set you apart and oftentimes get you the house. If you are a buyer in a seller's market, another thing you need to do, which actually comes at the very, very top of the process, you want to not only get pre-approved, but you want to get an approval letter, not a pre-approval letter. You need to get an approval letter if you can. It depends on who, your loan officer is in some cases. But if you are able to get an approval letter that actually states the dollar amount that you are approved for. Pre-approval is cute, that's good. No one's gonna laugh at you for having a pre-approval, but you wanna take it a step further. The approval letter is basically money in the bank. Okay, shorted what you drank. The pre-approval is literally that. It is just a pre-approval. You are still yet to be approved. We're not there yet. So you want to get an approval letter. Okay, that's a major key. That's for that tip right there, you should double tap on this video, for real. Like, that's everything. That changes everything. If you submit an offer that is solid dollar wise, and you submit an offer letter that is so sweet, pulling on the heartstrings, truthful, honest, okay, and you submit an approval letter, you get in the house, okay? Start packing, because y'all are getting it. I love being the realtor that wins, okay? Listen, and this is about me now. This is pride. I love to win, okay? So, like I said, if you need a realtor, if you want a realtor who's gonna fight for you, your win is literally my win, friend. Okay, let's do this. Don't even play with me. Let's get you this house. So when you're writing your letter, your offer letter for the offer on the house that you just must get, you also want to do different offer letters. If you're submitting multiple offer letters for different homes, let's say you submit one and you don't get it, and you look at another home, fall in love with it, I'm gonna say go ahead and do another offer letter, because one of these sentiments you wanna have in the offer letters themselves or the letter that you submit with the offer, is you want to have sentiment about the home itself, right? So you don't just want to talk about me, and this is what, me and my family are going to do, and we love this school district. You put that in there, but what's really going to capture the heart of the seller is you saying, when, this is hypothetical, specific to the house. When, my partner and I walked from the Eden kitchen through the French doors to the backyard where your above ground garden was center stage, I was transported right back to my grandmother's garden when I was a little girl, and it would mean so much to her for me to be passed down this garden that you have cared so much for. That you get what I'm saying? So you're not just talking about you and your family and your kids. You want to make them compelled to give you their home. If you submit multiple letters with offers, you need to kind of maybe edit a paragraph differently for each house. You don't have to redo the whole letter, but each letter really needs to be specific to that home, to the home that you are trying to get. Very as specific as you can get without being creepy. You want them to know that you value their home just as much as they do, if not more. You want them to really feel like you will value and treasure their home just like they did. That is really important to sellers. If you are a buyer in a seller's market, there's a couple of other things that you can do to stand out from the crowd, okay? So in addition to the offer price for the home, you can maybe submit more earnest money. You can submit more option money. You can waive extra contingencies. You can offer to pay cash in a seller's market. That goes a stupendous way. I mean, depending on the situation, you might not have a, bucket of cash lying around to buy a house. But if you got it like that, this is the time to flex. Okay, now is the time to big bang hank it and throw all the money on the table. A cash offer is exactly the type of offer that gets those eyebrows raised on behalf of the seller when there's especially when there's a multiple offer situation on the table. Another really major key on how to get the house that you want in a seller's market is to include in your contract an escalation clause. Listen, as I said in another video, I'm a full-fledged nerd and I'm okay with that. I've made peace with it. The contracts are really where I go off. Like, I've always been this way. Ever since I started being a realtor, I love reading I love to read already, but I love reading contracts. So any tricks of the trade when it comes to a contract, I got you covered, honey. Okay, don't even worry about that. So your realtor will be able to put an escalation clause in your contract. And if your realtor is dope, they're going to draw attention to the escalation clause to the realtor that they're submitting the offer to, the listing agent for the property. They're going to let that agent know, like, hey, by the way, in case you weren't going to read the whole contract, because realtors really be out here not reading contracts. I add an escalation clause in there. My buyers really want to get this home. So what that does is twofold. For one, it literally puts within the contract, you basically signifying to the listing agent, we're ready to bid. Like, if we need to go up on price, we're ready to go. We're ready to go up on price. Okay. Now, normally it is to a predetermined amount, but you can still put in the contract an escalation clause. Draw the realtor's attention to it, let them know that it's in there. What that's going to do is twofold. It is going to literally do what it says in the contract, which is signify that you're willing to go up on your bid. But what it will also do is plant in the other realtor's mind, we could have a bidding war. They are really serious about this. They really want this. Okay. And at this point, you want the other realtor to think y'all would do anything, even if you might have $2,000 more to go. Okay, let's just call the thing a thing. If you really don't got it like that, but you want it, you know what I mean? Like, it's a game. If you financially can't bid more than a certain amount, you can't bid more than a certain amount, and there's no reason for you to feel bad about that. What my point is, the other realtor doesn't know that, okay? So you just want them to feel like, if I tell this agent, we have a multiple offer situation, bring your highest and best by this date, you still got brought into the room. Because if the other agent does not know that, if the listing agent has any doubt that you will go up, they're simply going to advise their client to take this higher offer that they already have. So in this example, let's say you submit an offer on a house for, just to keep the math simple, $100,000. house where exactly? This is a fictional house that doesn't exist for $100,000. But let's say in your market, you could get a super sweet house for $100,000 and you put in an offer for the house that you want that's on the market for $100,000. Okay. You submitted your detailed offer letter. You submitted your approval letter. You feel really good about this. Okay. Now, someone else is going to submit an offer, and let's say they also submitted it for $100,000. Okay. Now, you have the escalation clause in your contract. Your realtor has made that known to the listing agent. So the listing agent now has two offers, and they know this one's ready to go up. They know y'all are ready to go up because you have the escalation clause. Now, mind you, you might not actually have to go up. Let's say, again, in this situation, if you only have $2,000 more, so max in your budget is $102,000. That's it, and you're out. If it's $102,000.50, you're not going to be able to make it. Okay. The other agent in real time may or may not know the exact amount. Okay. So you having the escalation clause in your contract, and they know you're going to go up. They're not going to go to you first to see where you're going to go up because you've already mentioned that you will go up, right? They already know that. They're going to go to the other offer. Okay. So you know nothing about this person. You don't know. It could be a business. It could be an individual, family. Who knows, right? The listing agent is going to ask the other contract holder, hey, this is now a multiple offer situation. Do you want to go up on your price? Do you want to go up on your offer? Let's say that person is like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go up $1,000. Okay. So now they said $101,000. You have the escalation clause, right? So you've already made it clear you're willing to go up. So you come back quickly with $101,500,000. Okay. So you've come up 500 from their additional 1,000. All right. So now the listing agent, they're feeling good. Okay. They got a multiple offer situation, and the price is already going up. Okay. So let's say the listing agent presents your offer of $101,500 and the other person's offer of $101. And the agent says, now these people are still willing. They have an escalation clause. They're willing to go up. What do you think? Now, the seller could either say, you know what? I want to see some more movement. Tell them to keep it going. I want some more. Let's keep that same energy. Let's run it up. Okay. So the agent's going to go back to the other party and say, hey, we're still in a multiple offer situation. We got a counter. We got a counter offer from the other party. It was higher than yours. We're not supposed to give specifics on the dollar amount. Okay. We have a fiduciary responsibility to our client. In this case, the listing agent, their client is the seller. So they're not going to tell the other party, the other contract holder, just go up to 102. They can't say that. They just have to say, hey, we got a counter. It was higher than yours. Do you want to go up? So let's say they say, you know what? Yeah, I'll go. Let's do 102. Let's do it. Right? The agent's going to come to you and say, hey, we got a counter. It's higher than yours. What do you want to do? Now, you really want this house, and you said from the beginning amongst yourselves, you can go up to 102,000. So you say, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's go up to 102. So you have no idea that they've also put in the same number. So once again, you have identical offers. Now let me tell you why I'm the realtor for you. You are still the best case scenario because you have shown that you want this house. You've been willing to go up, even though this is top of your budget. If it don't happen now, you're out. But nobody knows that. Okay, nobody knows that but y'all, your realtor, baby. You've probably told your realtor your max price. So your realtor is telling them, listen, my clients want this house. Okay, they've come in at $2,000 above asking at this point. It's been going back and forth. I want some. If your realtor is really on it, now that your realtor is going to apply pressure with the listing agent to let's get this deal done. My people want it. We've shown up. We gave you letters. What's good? Okay, basically realtor equivalent of a what's good email. y'all are gonna get the house. Y'all have the offer letter, you have a approval letter, and you've already gone in a bidding war with this other person whom you don't know to give them $2 more thousand that you were willing to pay the whole time. Okay, so that's why I say, y'all, I'm giving y'all bars. Okay, if you put an escalation clause in your contract and you submit an approval letter and you submit a letter with your offer, you're getting the house, period. That is a major thing. That's a major thing. And if you are dealing with a realtor that doesn't know what I'm talking about, if you say like, hey, can we do an escalation clause in our contract? And they're like, what do you, I don't know, we can't. That's not the realtor for you. Okay, we've already talked about this. I'm right here. Okay, stop running. I am your favorite realtor. I got you, okay? I read contracts for breakfast and I look at the market for lunch. Okay, this is my life. My MacBook is right here, fam. That's me typing on, can you hear that? That's me writing up a contract. I'll be working. I'm out here. I hope y'all liked my video. I hope you found it super, super duper informative. These are all the tools, regardless of the side you're on, to win in a seller's market. And I do believe that if you have a bomb realtor, no matter which side you're on, you can win in a seller's market. It is possible. I literally see to it every single day, okay? When my clients don't get the contract, I sit myself down and we have a conversation. You feel me? Now, certain situations are different. There's some things that you cannot get around. But with these tools and strategies, I really am setting you up to win in a seller's market, regardless if you're a seller or not. Buyers can win in a seller's market, but you have to be smart. Okay, you have to be on top of things to be a buyer to win in a seller's market, but it is absolutely possible, and it starts with your realtor. So please, if you are in DFW or the greater Houston area, get at me. Okay, I love to do lot listings. I love to do residential. I even do a little apartment locating. I have all bases covered. Please get at me. I would love to help you. It's your favorite realtor here. I hope you have some peace today.